Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Akakwadash. And I want to say Shalom to Akmanakwath out there, pursuing this truth diligently. Coming at you once again with another lesson. This one's titled, Things You Think Are Small Are Big to the Lord. All right? Working title. All right? I'll probably leave it as is, but, things you think are small are big to the Lord. You see the small in quotations because these things really aren't small. But I was just going through my notes as I tend to do, looking for a lesson. And the thought came across my head through the spirit. A lot of these people out in the world, the things you think are small, all right, or because I've mentioned that guy I'm cool at my job, saying stuff like, oh, what, the Lord's going to kill me because I ate some catfish, or because I ate a lobster. Yes, and it's something that seems small, all right, to the worldly population, but they don't really understand how grave the situation is, okay? So the things you think are small, they're big to the Lord, okay? And you got to realize there's reasons why he told you not to do it, but the biggest reason of all is, hey, it's like what your parents said. Why can't I do it? Because I said so, all right? The amount of times we've heard that growing up, and we didn't like it, all right, at the time. Oh, why can't I go outside? Because I said so. We'd be like, man, that's a stupid reason, right? And that's what we would think. But we thought it was a stupid reason because why? We were uninformed. There was always a reason behind it, okay? Whether or not we got the reason or not, whether or not they told us what the reason was, there was a reason, okay? And with our parents, sometimes it could have been a stupid reason, but the Lord doesn't give a stupid reason, all right? There's a reason for it, all right? Especially with the foods and stuff like that. There's a reason, okay? Crawdads and lobsters and all those things, those you shouldn't be eating those. Those are toxic to your body, okay? Oysters and clams are toxic to your body. You got to realize what these things do. These are filter feeders and bottom dwellers, and their job is to essentially clean the oceans, okay? And when you put that into your body, you're taking you might as well take the dishcloth or the sponge that you clean the whole house with, the magic eraser that you scrub the toilet with. You might as well just run it under the water and drain that into your mouth. I know it sounds fucking disgusting, but that's what you're doing with the lobster. All right, all that is a living magic eraser. All right, scrubbing the bottom of the oceans, cleaning it up. All right, same with catfish. All right, filter feeders. That's what not filter feeders, but yeah, like I think they are a type of filter feeder, like shit like plecos. All right, they're basically a type of catfish, and yeah, man, they're what they are is they clean. Okay, if you look up a pleco is a type of catfish, and when you get into aquariums and stuff, they always tell you to get a pleco, or they call them scum eaters or scum suckers or suckerfish sometimes, but they're called plecos. All right, and what they're a type of catfish that sucks onto the side of the tank, and they eat all the scum and all the fish poop and all that stuff. Right, that's what they do, and they keep the tank clean. And it's a type of catfish. Right, and Jake loves catfish. Well, Jake, what, the Lord gonna kill me because I ate catfish? Yes. All right, primarily for the one reason that you're disobedient. All right, he told you not to do it, and you did it anyway. All right. Now it's a little different if you didn't know. All right, because of course you didn't know. All right, because he'll wink at that because you didn't know. All right, but once you know, and it's been told, hey man, did you know in the Bible and in Leviticus it says that we're not supposed to eat those types of things? All right, and it's a grave offense to the Lord. And you say, oh man, I don't care. Well, hey, you don't have you can't what then? You know the truth and you denied it. All right, which is worse than if you've never known. All right, it's worse than you ever know. That if you never would have known. It's like it. So yeah, man, let's get into here. So some things you think are small are big to the Lord. All right, and we might not get all through this, but really these are just some points. All right, right here, haircuts and beards. I have to have a beard. Well, I can't. What, the Lord's gonna kill me because I took a Gillette razor and some Barbasol and cut my hair and finished it up with some Brute, all right, or some Aqua Velvet. Yes, because He told you not to. All right, He told you not to. Okay, disobedient. All right, backsliding children. All right, that's what he called us, backsliding children. Type it in, backsliding children KJV. Look that up. That's your homework today. All right, I'll get some scriptures, but some of them you got to do your own research for, man. If you want to learn, show the Lord you want to learn. All right, backsliding children KJV. All right, and you can go and look. And backsliding children is talking about us. All right, that's what we do. Okay, always, act like we get right and then we don't. We just backslide. Okay, if we even try to get right at all. So haircuts and beards. Ezekiel 44:20. Mind you, people that the 10 Commandments, the 10 Commandments. There's more than 10. There's 613. Okay, you always talk about that. The 10 Commandments. What about the other 603? That's a lot more laws that you're missing out on. Okay, and again, we're not like GMS and the affiliates of GMS and people like myself that teach in the same manner as them are not like IUIC. They're like, oh, the statutes and the commandments. All right, like they're going to get you saved. No, but breaking them will get you killed. And we should try to the best of our ability to keep the law. Okay, because at the end, keeping the law is about one thing and one thing only. Okay, well, it's multiple things, but one primarily thing, keeping the law now, okay? Because we know that we're under grace. By grace are you saved, and not of works, lest any man should boast. There's another bit of homework, all right? You can double check and make sure that that's how it's written. By grace are ye saved, KJV. There's another one for you. Not of works, lest any man should boast. People like Bishop Nathaniel from the IIC, they would definitely boast, I keep all the laws. All right, well, go somewhere and hover then, right? Go somewhere and hover then if you're some deep man of ancient wisdom and knowledge, okay? Go and hover somewhere. You should be hovering off the ground with how holy you are. You're perfect then, right? You must think you're perfect, right? Ridiculous. But keeping the laws will not get us saved because we know it's through predestination. But we got to keep it for multiple reasons, but one primary reason. Because the Lord says, I want to give it away now. We'll get there. There's one big reason. All right. One big reason. There's multiple reasons, but there's one big reason now to keep the law. All right. One of the reasons is because unless you want to die, all right. One of them is showing respect. All right. Another one is, rehearsing the righteous acts because we're going to be doing those things in the kingdom anyway. The one right now is a big one. Some brothers and sisters already in the background knowing what it is. It's to show something. Okay. It's to show something. Okay, and we'll get there in a minute. This is Ezekiel 44:20. And these are some of the things that would seem small to people, but are big to the Lord. Ezekiel 44:20. If they didn't mean nothing, you got to realize, if they didn't mean nothing, the Lord wouldn't tell you to do them. All right, he's not going to say, hop on your foot because he wanted to just see you hop on your foot. All right, now he might just see if you're obedient, okay, with something like that. But all these things have a reason. Now, we might not all have the reason, okay, for certain things. We know food, food, Slakia, that's what you call them. We know with animals, all right, that are not food, all right, some of them, are harmful, all right. Most of them are. Pork, can't have that. That's harmful. Bad cholesterol, all right. It's disgusting. And they're one of the only animals that absorbs through the skin, all right. So, and like I always say, the majority of pigs in America and even outside of America are garbage fed, okay. So if they absorb through the skin and they're eating tampons and diapers and condoms, yes, that they eat that shit. All right, they just feed them slop and garbage. All right, just garbage, waste shit. Right? If they feed them those things, what are you eating? All right, you ever heard of you are what you eat? Well, if you're eating a pig that ate a bunch of condoms and tampons, that you're just foul and filthy, just like that pig. All right, and unclean. You become unclean just by putting that animal's meat in your mouth. You become that animal's an unclean animal by putting its flesh, its meat, all right, its skin, all right, its product of any sort in your mouth. You become unclean like that animal, all right, for a period of time. Okay, you're not permanently unclean, but you become unclean. So Ezekiel 44:20 says, neither. You can read up if you want, but 20 really gets the point. 20, neither shall they shave their heads, nor suffer their locks to grow long. They shall only pull their heads. Pull means to trim. Okay. Now, shave, we'll use the term shave or buzz, right? You'll hear me, oh, we shaved our heads, buzzed our head. We didn't really shave, because shave, all right, is when you take a razor, all right, to your scalp, all right, or the sides of your head, or your beard, all right, or you take a buzzer, all right, hair trimmer, all right, the one electric one, right, and you take off the guard and buzz it, all right, then that's shaving your head. But if you can go down to the smallest guard, all right, a 0.5, a 0.2, right? As long as there's some stubble on the top of your head, you're fine. Okay? You cannot put baldness upon your head. You cannot make yourself bald, as we're gonna read. You cannot take that razor, or that unguarded razor, and buzz off all the hair all the way down to the brim where you have a shiny ass head. You cannot do that. Now, if your hair fell out, all right, and you look like that, that's one thing. All right. But even if your hair is patchy, all right, because you have male pattern baldness or whatever, you still can't shave it all the way off. You can take that guard all the way down to the lowest guard you can find, a 0.2, a 0.3, a 0.4, a 0.5. I know the one I have is a 0.5. I never usually go that low, though. I usually stick with like a 2 at the lowest for me. But you can use those, and a 2 is short as hell, man. You can even get a 1. A 1 is short, very short, man. So, but I mean, if you need it that low, 0.5, it's still there's some hair up there, very very little, but there's some. Okay, it's like the same thing. People try to say, oh, the tuna has very small scale. It didn't say very small. You can't have it even if it has if the scales are too small. No, it says does it have scales? We'll get there in a minute. All right, it whatever have fins and scales. All right, in the water you can eat fins and scales. Catfish does not have scales. Does have fins though, right? Um, so yeah, man. But anyway, um, it says neither shall they shave their heads, neither suffer their locks to grow long. They shall only pull their heads. So you can't be having long hair either, man. Can't be having long hair either. It's Leviticus 19 and 27. All right, and it reads, "Ye shall not round the corners of your heads." Right, rounding all that stuff, edge ups, and sometimes you square it up, sometimes you circle, do the rounding of it. Can't do it. You shall not round the corners of your heads. Again, that means with a razor or with an unguarded trimmer. It says, neither shalt thou mar the corners of thy beard. Again, that means with a razor or an unguarded trimmer. Now, a lot of brothers tell you, you shouldn't be trying to make it as purposely as low as possible, right? You take a for your beard, right? For your head, that's if you want a 0.5 or a 1 or a 2, that's one thing. But why would you do that to your beard? Why would you take it all the way down to a 1? All right, I took mine down to a 4, and my shit's it's cleaned up. All right, you can clean it up, make it look nice, and even have it shorter if you like wearing it shorter. You can have that. You just can't buzz it off. You can't shave it off. Same with your mustache, right? And mine's lower than I usually like. I was even telling my wife the other day. I said, "Yeah, I went a little short because I came." She said, "You buzz your." She said, "Did you cut your beard?" I said, "Yeah, I cut my beard. I did it the other day. It was a little shorter than I liked. I wanted it, trimmed up, but I like the goatee part. The part right on your chin longer. I like the sides shorter. All right, because when my sides grow out, I'm not, as fortunate as some brothers out there to have, the bushy beards. I have that Northern Kingdom style beard. All right, even though I'm Southern Kingdom, I got the Northern Kingdom style beard where our stuff's kind of like their stuff kind of gets scraggly and stuff. Something it depends on the tribe though too. All right, but going back to the family, I believe it's a Mexican guy that actually goes back to either Judah or Benjamin, more likely Benjamin. But so with that, we got that type of facial hair that kind of gets like piratey. All right, kind of scraggly. It's patchy, right? But doesn't grow in too well. Mustache never really connects. It kind of you get that like that vato. All right, you get those. That stealth bomber. Like that, as they say. That. You know what it is. That bandito. All right, on the sides. You get it. But yeah, man. So, but I was even saying, I said, yeah, I trim it up on the sides and stuff, so I don't get the crazy scraggliness, but I want at least the goatee part to be longer, because then it makes it look like I have more beard. Because now it looks like I just have a really short beard, right? But yeah, man. So like it says, you shall not make any cuttings. That's not what it's talking about. Verse 27, ye shall not round the corners of your heads, neither shall thou mar the corners of thy beard. So you can't, disconnect your beard from your sideburns or something like that, right? You got to keep those all together, right? Plus, it looks weird when you do that anyway. Got that fucking or you start disconnecting shit. You got that Drewski shit. That shit looks stupid, man. That chin strap, it looks stupid. Why would you want that anyway? All right, there's a guy at my job. I'm cool with him. He's the same guy that mentioned the whole what you would kill me because some catfish or whatever he happened to say. He keeps his shit looking like pencil thin. He got the pencil thin beard, and then he's growing it out after a while. That's because I've been fucking with him for a while. I don't think he did it because of that, but I was like, man, you need to grow that out, grow it out, grow your beard out, man. And he did. He's like, yeah, I was away for a little bit. I didn't end up getting a chance to trim it or cut it. And so I'm like, yeah, bro, it looks good. Keep it like that. He's like, yeah, I think I might. I'm like, yeah, fucking do it. But and then of course 28 is talking about tattoos and stuff. You shall not make any cuttings. You shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am the Lord. Well, that's talking about for the dead. It says, nor print any marks upon you. Okay, so that's what it's talking about. You dummy. You try to get around it. So, but you didn't because it says, nor shall you, nor any markings upon your flesh. And tattoo is a marking upon your flesh. So Leviticus 21:5. It says another one. They shall not make baldness upon their head, neither shall they shave off the corner of their beard, nor make any cuttings in their flesh. So there's another one about cutting in the flesh. And mind you, this one does not say for the dead. It says specifically, nor make any cuttings in their flesh. Okay? Doesn't mean you can't get a piercing. All right? As far as I know, piercings are fine to get. All right? Now, when, uh, I have them, unfortunately, because I did it when I was younger. If you have them, you can still wear jewelry in them, but I just wouldn't go any bigger. Gauges, right? Gauges. I wouldn't do those, but that's not because necessarily that it's. What the hell is that sound? I wouldn't. I would specifically not do it because of learn not the way of the heathen, right? And gauges are an African custom. All right, gauging their ears and stretching their ears, right? Like I said, my ears are stretched out a little bit. I got them up to like a 00, which is they call it the point of no return. Your ears will never go back to normal, and my ears haven't gone back to normal. They're about like hell, man. They're way bigger than a normal earring, right? Like tiny. Mine are like the size of like at one point I could put a pencil through my ear. So I've lost a little bit of stretch since then, but I could get a Q-tip through my ear, no problem. All right, that's way bigger than a. I can get like the tip of my fingernail on my pinky through my ear. So it doesn't look like that because it's like scrunches up. But yeah, man. So I wouldn't do those, all right, because that's learning the way of the heathen. You're basically learning doing what they're doing. So I wouldn't do that. But you can get your ears pierced, as far as I know. All right, but yeah, ears pierced and stuff like that. I wouldn't get your like the top of your nose, like your bridge pierced. It'll start just looking freaky and weird. All right. As far as I know, nose piercings are fine as well, like on the side. Again, I wouldn't get a septum piercing. All right, because those are a little weird. Or an eyebrow piercing, those are a little weird. I don't know. You'd have to ask the apostles of Great Millstone. Not that I'm a part of Great Millstone, but that's who if I have questions, I learn from them, so that's where I ask them. I would ask the apostles. They've been in the truth longer than pretty much anyone, man. 30+ years. So I'd ask them on that one. All right. If you can get an eyebrow piercing, they probably ask you why do you want to get an eyebrow piercing in the first place, man? Why do you want that? All right. Lip piercings I wouldn't get. Again, they're just weird. They're just weird. I wouldn't get no lip piercings. Like I said, I don't know if they're necessarily going off. I'm not going to speak on it. Again, that's something you'd have to ask them about, but they're definitely weird. All right, so I wouldn't personally. I'd stick with the ear piercings or like the nose piercing on the side that some girls get, but that's it. And then like I don't know, that's it. That's pretty much it, man. I won't get any of the nipple piercings. I don't know about that. All right, it's not good for your nipples, you ladies, anyway. Um, but I don't know about that. I don't know, right? I wouldn't know about that, and I probably wouldn't. I don't even know if you want to ask the apostles about that. So that's kind of a I don't know. Does it sound off to you, or I don't know, man? Does it sound off? Like that's something you might want to cast a lot on and see, because Personally, I would not. I would not personally. All right, that's what I would say. I would personally say no, but to each their own, I guess, right? But yeah, man, we're not supposed to be cutting all on our flesh and getting tattoos. And again, another thing that might sound small to some people, but it's big to the Lord. All right, and so well, I can't even get an edge. All it is, just what a razor on my skin. That's it. Yeah. All right, but the Lord said not to, so that's why you don't do it. All right, and there's probably a reason for it, man. There's probably a reason for. I won't say there's probably a reason for it. There's a reason for it. We just don't necessarily know it. All right, there's a reason for it. Who knows? They can put all sorts of bacteria into your body. And we got two tortas walking by, but it puts all sorts of it could put all sorts of bacteria. Who knows if it does do something to the ecosystem of the skin? All right, we don't know. All right, we don't know necessarily about that. So there's a reason for it. You just might not know it. Now I'm gonna touch a little bit on Leviticus 11. We're getting into the dietary law. Here's another thing now. This is the one that people hate. They hate that. Tell Jake that they can't have pork. Oh man, you're gonna have one ass hood rat on your hands. Okay, pork. Nope. This is Leviticus 11 and 11 through 2. 11 and 11. 11 and 1 through 2. It says, "And the Lord spake unto Moses and to Aaron, saying unto them, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, These are the beasts which ye shall eat among all the beasts that are on the earth." Okay? And it says, "Whatsoever parteth the hoof and is cloven footed and cheweth the cud," okay, "among the beasts that shall ye eat." So, two stipulations. It must, all right, be cloven footed, which is parted at the hoof, and and parted at the hoof means it goes, uh, I believe it goes all the way through. All right, parted at the hoof, it goes all the way through. All right, like you can't have camel because it's not parted at the hoof. It has a like a half hoof looking thing, but it's not. It has to be chopped down the middle. All right, so a parted hoof, cloven footed, right? You look up cloven foot, you want to know what that means, and then it has to chew cud. Okay, pigs, okay, are cloven footed, or no, they're cloven footed, but they don't chew cud. Right? Let me go down. Yeah, right here in verse 7, it says, "And the swine, though he divide the hoof and be cloven footed, yet he cheweth not the cud, he is unclean to you." Okay? And like up above it in verse 6, it says, "And the hare, because he cheweth the cud, but divideth not the hoof," they have paws, right? "He is unclean unto you." And a hare is a rabbit. Okay? Right here it mentions the camel, right? So, yeah, you can go and just look all through these. I'm not going to read every single one of them. Right here, verse 9, "These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters. Whatsoever hath fins and scales in the waters, in the seas, and in the rivers, them shall ye eat. And all that have not fins and scales in the seas and in the rivers, of all that move in the waters, and of any living thing which is in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you." So you should not eat them. All right. It says, "They shall be an abomination unto you. Ye shall not eat of their flesh, but ye shall have their carcasses an abomination." Okay. "Whatsoever hath no fins nor scales in the water, that shall be an abomination unto you." There you go. And it talks about birds, all right, and there's a list of birds that you can't eat, right, and it's mostly birds of prey, all right, you know, things that are predatory birds, okay. So, you got things like the eagle, the ostrich, the osprey, the vulture, the raven, right, the owl, all right, and raven, they eat carrion, right, they're cool birds, they eat carrion, dead things, right, owls, hawks, right, the cacao, I don't know about that, little owl, cormorant, the great owl, the swan, the pelican, the gear eagle, and the stork, the heron, after her kind, and the lapwing, and the bat, all right. And then it says, "All fowls that creep going on all four shall be an abomination to you." So if they go on all four, can't have them. All right. And then it talks about bugs, right? In verse 21, yet these may ye eat of every flying, creeping thing that goeth upon all four, which have legs above their feet to leap withal upon the earth. So that's talking about things like, they have to have legs above their feet. And that's talking about things like um, um, locusts, like grasshoppers, and things like crickets, right? Like it says in verse 22, "Even these of them ye may eat, the locust after his kind, and the bald locust after his kind, and the beetle after his kind." So you can eat beetles too. "And the beetle after his kind, and the grasshopper after his kind." Right? But all other flying, creeping things which have 4 feet shall be an abomination unto you. So all other bugs you can't have. Can't eat no worms, right? None of that. All right, you can have basically beetles, grasshoppers, and crickets. Pretty much it, right? Beetles, grasshoppers, and crickets. So yeah, man, and that you think that's a small thing? All right, what over a piece of ham? The Lord's gonna kill me? Yes, that's why we have scriptures like lean not into thine own understanding. Okay, because into your own understanding, you're gonna think, oh, this is a piece of ham. I can't have no honey ham. The Lord's gonna kill me over honey ham. Yes, yes, Jake, because He told you not to do it. Right? He told you not to do it. And remember how I told you we were going to get it later? All right, Lord 1. I said there's one main reason. There's one main reason. Okay? And this is the reason. Okay? Showing respect to the Lord. Verse 15, John 14 and 15. If ye love me, keep my commandments. If you love me, keep my commandments. If you love the Lord, you're going to keep his commandments. That's why. That's why we keep them, because we love the Lord. Okay? Right? And we know because there's always some bug out in the wood, but when are you saved? We know. All right? And I'm not mocking the scripture, by the way. I'm mocking the bug outs that say, oh, we don't have to keep the law. By grace are you saved. We don't have to keep the law. No. No. You're just as bugged out as those people that say you can keep every law. All right? No, man. Look, you're not going to be able to keep every law. Okay? I'm breaking the law right now. You want to know how I'm breaking the law right now? Because the work shirt that I'm wearing right now is a polyester shirt. You know what polyester is? It's a synthetic mixed fabric. Okay? You know what we're not supposed to be doing according to the Bible? All right? Wearing garments of diverse fabric. All right? Not supposed to. It is a law. All right? You're not supposed to be doing it. And you're breaking it. You're breaking it too. Everybody me, my wife, everybody I see out in this parking lot is breaking it. All right. You want to know why? Because we're all wearing drawers. Okay. We're all wearing panties or boxers or tidy whities. And you know what that's got in it? They're all mixed fit. 100% cotton. Oh, 100%. Yeah. Well, does it have a drawstring? No. It's got an elastic band. Elastic band. That's synthetic. That's a mixed fabric. You ain't supposed to be having elastic bands on shit. All right. Before, and there was a way we probably had it back then where we didn't need a drawstring. All right. But that's the way that they mostly have it now. It's a drawstring. All right. My pajamas that I have at home, well, actually, I think those aren't 100% cotton either. I was gonna say those got a drawstring on them. All right, not elastic that I know of, but they have I think they have drawstring and elastic. Now that I think about it, but yeah, man. So, and you think, oh, I'll just wear stuff without any drawstring. Well, your shirts ain't gonna fit like they fit. All right, because right around your arms, you can go ahead and feel right now. Pull right where your arm is sticking out of your armhole. Pull on the fabric right there. Is it a little springy? You want to know why it's springy? Because they put a little bit of polyester or a little bit of something else in it. That's a mixed fabric. Right around your neckline. All right, where your head comes at it. Guess what? It's a little bit springy. You know what that is? It's elastic. It's mixed fabric. All right, right around where it wraps around your torso at the bottom. All right, hanging by your shit. All right, whether you got a box or a rod. All right, with a hang that part of your shirt that hangs down where your nuts at. Right. Again, it's got elastic, polyester or something in it. Right. Your socks. All right, your socks to keep them up. What do they got on it? Elastic. All right, and socks are usually not 100% cotton. They got other things in it. All right, so you can't say, "Oh, I'll keep every law. I'll keep every law." And the other scripture you got to get is, if you break one law, who breaks one law is guilty of all. So congratulations. All right, you broken all the law. You can't just break one, but oh, I'm good because I keep all the other ones. I'll just break this one. No, you break one, you're guilty of all. So you're going off. All right, thinking like that. All right. So no. The Bible said by grace are you saved, so we can just we can smoke cigarettes and smoke weed and commit adultery because at the end of the day, brother, it's just grace. No, that's not what it means, man. That's not what it means. Okay, Ephesians 2:8. Let's get this in its real capacity without a bugged out mindset on it. Ephesians 2:8. For by grace are you saved through faith, and that not of yourselves, it is the gift of Yahweh, not of works, lest any man should boast. Nowhere does it say, so go ahead and just sin and ignore what I had to say and just do what you want to do. No. All right. This is an excellent precept to back it up. All right. Ecclesiastes 17, and 25, and then I'm going to close out. And it reads, return unto the Lord and forsake thy sins. What is sin? Transgression of the law. Transgression of the law. And mind you, this is in the Apocrypha, so it's right in the middle of the Old Testament and the New Testament. Okay? So return unto the Lord and forsake thy sins. Make thy prayer before his face and offend less. Okay? So why did the Lord say stop sinning or talking about sinners if it doesn't matter if you just, you're still sinning, all right? If we're just under grace, all right, and we can just do whatever we want, then why is the Lord still talking about sin? All right? Because it's not a contradiction. It's your lack of understanding. Okay? You're right. We are under grace. By grace are you saved. Okay? Because at the end of the day, if we're part elect, that's through predestination. Not because we kept every law, not because we called upon the Lord every single day, but because we were chosen before the foundation of the earth. Okay? That's why we be part elect, and Lord willing we are. Okay? Not because of any of our works. All right? Lest any man should boast. But that doesn't mean, all right, we should just sin willfully. All right? There's another one. Let me go get it. Let me see. Right here, Romans 6 and 15. I'll put it up at the top so you can see it. What then? Shall we sin because we are not under the law, but under grace? Yahweh forbid. So we're not supposed to sin just because we're not under the law. So what? It's a heyday. All right, we get to do whatever we want. Here it is again. Romans 6 and 15. What then? Shall we sin? Shall we break the law? Shall we sin because we are not under the law, but under grace? Yahweh forbid. Let me translate it. So what then? Shall we break the law because we're not under the law, but we're under grace? Lord forbid. Right? And that's what y'all don't understand, man. You got that simpleton spirit on you. Okay? And that's what we're under grace. We're under grace. That doesn't mean you can just commit adultery, Jake. All right, because you have guys. You guys are just you guys that are all the 100% under grace guys are just as bad as the laws, the statutes, and the commandments. All right, you're just as bad because you're two polar extremes, man. You're not getting it biblically. You're getting it how you think. Oh, we're under grace, so we could just do whatever. The Bible said we're under grace, so we could just go and do whatever we want because we're under grace. No, you didn't get the other scripture that said you shouldn't be doing that because you're under grace. Yahweh forbid. Okay. So, and then you law, the statute, and the command. You're bad because you don't know that not through works, lest any man should boast. So you're both bad. You're both not in a biblical mindset. All right, you're both in a fucking stupidity contest, and I don't know who's winning. All right, but right here, this Sirach 17:25 again. Return unto the Lord and forsake thy sins. Make thy prayer before his face and offend less. Turn again to the Most High and turn away from iniquity, for he will lead thee out of darkness into the light of health, and hate thou abomination vehemently. Who shall praise the Most High in the grave instead of them which live and give thanks? And you know what that means? It means if you keep breaking the law, you will die. Okay? So, things you think are small, yeah, they're bigger than the Lord. Okay? You think they're small, but that's because you don't understand shit. You don't know shit. All right? You're in your own mind. All right? You have your own opinion. All right? You're leaning into your own understanding. So you don't understand how big these things are. Okay? Things you think are small are big to the Lord. And that's where we're going to close out. So, Lord, what was edifying? Once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Akakwadash. I want to say shalom to you brothers and sisters out there. Keep enduring, keep the faith. We're almost out of here. Until next one, Lord willing, shalom.